The Jedi mount a massive invasion to recapture Geonosis and shut down the dangerous droid factories. Padawans Axel Tingard and Ahsoka Tano are assigned to the main strike force, along with Jedi Generals Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Ki-Adi-Mundi. Axel, Ahsoka, and Anakin walk onto the bridge of the Republic flagship, meeting the other generals there. You're late. Sorry, Master. Ahsoka, Axel, and I were busy routing the Seppies near Doran. My squadron alone had 55 kills. Yeah, but mine had 76. Amateurs. My boys and I got 98. Perhaps the day you spoke of where Axel would best you has come. Or he's having a lucky day. Anakin, come now. There's no such thing as luck. Right. Ahsoka, contact the Outer Rim Command. We're ready for our briefing. They're already waiting for us. Master Windu, Chancellor Palpatine, Master Yoda, and Master Luminara greeted them over the holotable. Our fleet is in position, and we are ready to begin our attack on the droid factories. Axel, you and Captain Chase, along with the rest of our company, will join Master Kenobi and the 212th down to the surface. Yes, Master. Anakin, Ki-Adi, and I shall attempt a three-pronged attack through their defense lines to a staging area just short of the shield. Once we've landed, we shall knock out the shield generator protecting the factory. That is our primary target. Isn't it risky sending 3 Jedi Generals to one area of the attack? If something went wrong, we could be dealt a serious blow. To ensure rise again, Geonosis does not. Capture Poggle. We must. Of course. As always, I shall leave the strategy to you, Master Jedi. Our thanks, Chancellor. May the Force be with you. The transmission ended. At the same time, Rex, Cody, Jet, and Chase walked in. Good, Cody. These are the rendezvous. Yes, sir. When we hit the ground, we will create a perimeter there. Getting past the defenses will be the trick. General Mundi will come across from the defensive lines from the north. You, me, Axel, and Chase will make our assault through the middle. General Skywalker will make his attack from the defensive lines from the south, and we'll meet at the rendezvous at 0700 exactly. Axel, we are trusting you with a larger role in the battle. You will be our first commander. Master Windu thinks we are ready for the job. Now let's see if he's right. First commander meant that he outranked almost everyone except the general. He even outranked a marshal commander, which was Cody. Thank you, Master. Their front lines are heavily fortified. Look at that giant wall with gunning emplacements. That won't be easy to get past. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere near that. Come now, where's that enthusiasm I saw earlier? Don't worry about us. You just make sure you get to that landing zone in one piece. Yes, and I'll be waiting for you when you finally arrive. Gentlemen, if you are quite finished, we have a battle to begin. Axel walked over to the 4 clone officers. Alright boys, it's time to squish some bugs. Axel walked through the hangar with his company boarding the gunships. Bombers took off to prepare for the launch. Cody walked up to him. You ready for this, kid? Ready as I'll ever be. Just remember what I taught you. Stay confident and focus on the task at hand. Don't worry, I'll be right there with you. I'll see you on the surface. Cody ran off toward his gunship. Chase met Axel at their own gunships. Alright, First Commander. Ready to have some fun? You know me, Chase. I am the fun. Alright, kid. Let's get going. They boarded the gunship and it launched down to the surface. Blaster fire was everywhere. Screams could be heard all over the comms. The gunship shook all around as we stumbled inside. I looked out of the small windows on the side of the dropship. I saw a whole bunch of explosions and fire and death below us. Oh, hell! Chase put his hand on my shoulder. Don't worry, we'll be fine. Just stay focused. I nodded and turned away from the carnage. We're down! Repeat, down! Location 5! The comms went silent. Commander, we just lost contact with General Skywalker. That's not good. We need to get on the dirt as fast as we can. Cody then came over the comms. Axel, we're getting the tanks down. Copy that. We're landing now. Once we passed the air defenses, the shaking stopped, but the rumble of the battle below continued. Our gunship hit the ground and the doors opened. I started yelling out orders. Let's go, everyone out! Create the landing perimeter! The explosion shook the dirt. I ran over to Cody as Chase followed me. All our tanks that made it through are on the ground returning fire. Who's the commanding officer? Did any of the generals make it to our position? No, sir. You're in command until further notice. I took a moment to let that sink in. The generals will make it here soon enough. Until then, keep our forces in this circle. Cody rushed off to help the men unload the munitions and supplies. I ran up to the front and deflected incoming bolts. Bugs on speeders tried to circle the landing zone. I did what I could and tried my best to force push the bugs off their bikes. My powers weren't fully developed yet, and my Padawan training started only about a year ago, so my abilities were limited. We continued to hold out as long as we could. Anakin, Ahsoka, Rex, and the rest of the 501st continued to press forward to make it to Point Rain. Rex ran behind some cover talking over his comlink. Okay, Cody. I'll speak with General Skywalker. Anakin took cover behind the same rock with Ahsoka behind him. Rex, what's going on? Is Obi-Wan sending reinforcements or not? Cody says that General Kenobi never reached the landing site. We think his gunship got shot down. Great. The one time I asked for Obi-Wan's help, he's nowhere to be found. Rex, who's in command of the landing zone? General Mundi? No, sir. First Commander Tingard is the commanding officer of Point Rain at the moment. So he's the only Jedi that didn't get shot down? I told you luck was on his side today. What if something happened to General Kenobi? We can't focus on him right now. Keep your mind on the task at hand. What about Axel? Do you think he'll be okay? I'm sure Axel's fine. He knows what he's doing and is still one of the highest recognized Padawans because of his success with Master Windu. If he can't handle a few bugs, then I'd be worried. Ahsoka smiled to herself a little. She knew he was right. Axel was highly recognized for his skill and confidence. Anakin noticed that she was feeling a little better about this, and continued to lead the battle. Axel was still at the front of the landing zone defense, deflecting the bolts away as his men fired back. He then sensed a familiar feeling. Axel turned to look around until he saw a crashed gunship. He sensed Master Kenobi inside. Cody! What is it, kid? I believe that gunship is General Kenobi's. I can sense him inside. I need you to go find Waxer and Boyle. Tell them to report to me immediately. I'm on it. I saw Waxer and Boyle guarding one of the sides of the perimeter. I ran over to them as they blasted bugs. Waxer, Boyle, Cody has a job opportunity for you. We're on our way, sir. Cody instructed them to go and rescue General Kenobi. I ran next to the commander and helped block them from enemy attacks as the two clones ran after the gunship. Explosions and blaster bolts whizzed past the duo as they made it to the side of the dropship. The clone looked through his binocs and saw Waxer and Boyle helping General Kenobi and Chopper over to the safe zone. They've got the General. ATTE 636. Lay down cover fire at point 35. The clones started to fire at the incoming threat as others retreated back to the square. They made it past the walkers and Axel ran over to them. Master, I'm glad you're okay. I take it the others are falling behind. Axel was the highest ranking officer to make it here. Skywalker's tanks have gone, and General Mundi is approaching us on foot. It looks like you're the only Jedi who didn't get shot down. Anakin will not like that. Good job. I see Master Windu was right about putting you in this position. Thanks to Cody and Chase, I managed to bear the weight on my shoulders. Yes, well, it looks like you'll be giving the orders now. As long as it's not the entire invasion, I'll be fine. Well, I'm sure General Skywalker and General Mundi will be here shortly. We just need to make sure we're still here when they arrive. Droid and bug reinforcements surrounded Point Rain. Blaster fire and explosions got more entries. The clones were getting pushed back away from their defenses and further into the circle. Cody, I'll be back. What? Where are you going? No time. Chase, get the men in a defensive circle around the injured. Yes, sir. Axel ran around the outside of the perimeter and jumped on top of a droid tank. He cut open the hatch and jumped inside. Cody and Chase just looked at him tearing up the tanks that continued to surround them. Kenobi looked around. What's Axel doing? Well, General, he, decided to do something General Skywalker would do. After destroying the tanks surrounding Point Rain, Axel ran back to the group. Well, I see you certainly enjoyed yourself. What? I just bought us more time. All of a sudden, more droid forces approached them. Not too much time, I see. Anakin and Ahsoka, along with their forces, met up with Master Mundi and his forces. I can see the landing zone. It does not look good. Ahsoka got worried again. Anakin sensed this and looked down at her, but there was nothing he could say to relax her again. Can you get me, Admiral Yularen? The bugs closed in on the landing zone. The rest of the men pushed back to make their final stand as they surrounded Master Kenobi. Cody and I looked behind our shoulders at him as he slowly stood up, igniting his blade. We knew that this was it. Out of nowhere, some clones started cheering. Reinforcements! Reinforcements have arrived! We all looked up to the sky and saw Y-wing bombers descend and bomb the Geonosians to hell. We all screamed and cheered when Skywalker, Ahsoka, and Mundi ran up to us and boosted our morale. Kenobi sat back down and disengaged his lightsaber. Master Kenobi, Axel, you okay? Well, what happened to you? I was about to ask you the same thing. Axel was the only reason why we held out so long. It seems like Axel was the perfect candidate for the job. Ahsoka walked up to him and they both hugged. You smell like Debana gas. Well, I did run into explosions and destroyed several tanks single-handedly. You should have seen him, Generals. His green blade cutting up those clankas and bugs, those speedos and tanks exploding. He sure knows how to make something go boom! I got banged up pretty good saving your skins. The staging area was finally set up and the second stage of the attack can begin. Our combined forces should be enough to destroy the shield generator. Anakin, you, Axel, and Ahsoka will take a small squad through the shield, as close as you can get to their gun emplacements. From there, you will be able to temporarily jam their scanners so they won't be able to target the incoming tanks. Once the tanks take out the shield, Master Mooney can bring the rest of the troops in with the gunships. Consider it done, Master. The tanks and troops moved out and prepared for the second attack. Ahsoka and I walked alongside each other. I heard you blew up that wall. Nice work. You destroyed half the first wave of bugs and compared that to a stupid wall? I looked at her. I could sense a small amount of attachment within her. I felt the same thing. Well, that stupid wall was a huge separatist fortress, so let that sink in. I put my hand on her bare shoulders as she blushed. You know, the thought of not seeing you again was what motivated me even more to help. You're like that one bright star in my universe. I was somewhat shocked. Is she flirting with me? I mean, I know I was pretty amazing on my own, but wow. I can't lie, I felt a connection with her too. It's only flirting. What's the worst that could happen? Well, this star glows extra bright when it's around something it likes. She looked up at me and we shared a small amount of pleasure in our minds. However, it was short-lived as we approached the others, and we couldn't let them find out about our little talk. Master Mooney ordered us to begin the attack. Anakin, Ahsoka, and I ignited our sabers and we rushed through the shield with our men. Keep moving! We continued to run until we got to large rocks. We used them as cover as clones grabbed their droid poppers. All of us chucked them as hard as we could and they landed around the targeting devices. The popper shorted out all the electronics in the area. It won't last long. Bring up the tanks. The ATTs opened fire on the enemy cannons and they were all but obliterated and the shield generator was destroyed. That was easy! The gunships landed around us and took out the rest of the bugs. The group all surrounded the area and set up a base. Ahsoka and I walked up to Anakin who was carrying Master Kenobi. So Master, what was your total? Not now, Ahsoka. Come on, are you afraid that you lost this time? Fine. 55. That's my count. And you? 60. Looks like I won. Yeah, but I called in the airstrike. Tie. You're impossible. Is it too late to say I got 183? Ahsoka started to laugh as hard as she could. Anakin, Kenobi, and Mundi all looked at me with wide eyes.